Hi, darling. Welcome back. In South Africa, the things that destroy us are very affordable. But the things that are supposed to improve our lives and make us better seem to be out of reach. For example, cigarettes, alcohol is way more affordable than going to therapy. Going to the club is way more cheaper than going to a ballet lesson, piano classes, or gymnastics. Pornographic content is free, but education isn't. What does this say about society? What does it say about the society that we live in? What kind of human beings are we creating in this current society? So I made this video because I want us to find out, what do these things mean? I will give you examples that show that a lot of the good things, the healthy things for us, tend to be very expensive, but the things that are destructive tend to be very cheap. Section 1, let's start with the self-destruction economy. So I was doing research on how much is a 20 packet of cigarettes in South Africa. What I found is that to get a 20 pack of cigarettes in South Africa, on average, you will spend 70 Rand to 80 something Rand. And if you want alcohol, the favorite alcoholic beverages for a lot of South Africans, which is Savannah, I searched it up on Pick n Pay and ShopRite, and the price is the same for like a 6-pack of 500 mils, if I'm correct, is 175 Rand. Let's go to therapy. If we search the price of therapy per session, per hour of therapy, the average is between 600 Rand to 1,000 Rand. So imagine for every hour you spend at a therapy session, you will be spending roughly 600 Rand per hour to 1,000 Rand per hour. And I know from personal experience, because when I was attending therapy costed me 800 Rand per session, with each session lasting an hour. Section 2, let's go to growth and fun. Fun is cheap. Growth is expensive. So, for example, if I want to go to a club, most clubs in South Africa are usually free unless there's a huge event or a huge artist coming in. Most clubs in South Africa are free, and even if you have to pay, usually you'll pay something between 150 Rand to 200 and something Rand. As someone who is a fan of gymnastics, I wanted to see how much it costs if you want to be a gymnast, if you want to train at the National Training Center for Gymnastics South Africa. Usually to have a full day of training at the National Training Center is 7,000 Rand. And then there's also other prices for hourly sessions, for group sessions, for depending on how long you will be there, which is usually around 500 Rand, 600 Rand, 700 Rand on average, just to train at a gymnastics training center. And then I went to look at music lessons. I wanted to search, okay, if I want to study music, I want to practice music like the piano or something, how much is the cost? One quotation that I saw says, just for an hour of training in a music class is 380 Rand. So if you want to spend 5 hours, 3 hours training, multiply that 380 Rand per hour. It adds up. And for my girlies and some young boys who would love to join ballet, usually the price is between 200 to 600 Rand per hour to study ballet in Johannesburg in particular. The research that I found was mostly from Johannesburg and a bit of Cape Town. So it is limited, but these are just examples that show that to be a gymnast, which is healthy, is very expensive. To study music, which stimulates your mind, is very expensive. To even become a dancer will cost you a lot, which is healthy. Moving your body is healthy for you. But going to the club is free. Even if the entrance fee is 100 Rand, that is still very affordable. You won't pay per hour that you're in the club compared to going to a gymnastics group, going to a music class, going to ballet classes, which you will pay per hour you spend there. The other element of fun that I want to mention is pornographic material, adult content. Adult content is consumed by a lot of people. We see the views. If you go on X and you see a pornographic video, you will see that the views are very high, which shows that a lot of people consume that content and it's free. All you need is data and to log into the internet. It is absolutely free. But if I want a degree, because in South Africa, in order to get a job at most places, you need a certain qualification. To get a certain ranking of job within the South African context, you do need an education, you do need certification. Even worse if you want to move abroad. When I worked abroad, I literally had to have copies of both my degrees in order to qualify. In order for them to even look at my CV, they needed to know, do you have a degree? The thing that could improve your life is absolutely expensive, but pornographic material, which is rotting your brain and causing you to have a sexual addiction and sexual and erectile dysfunction, is free. There's a reason why we are not supposed to be exposed to so much content. Our brain cannot process so much information. There's a reason why a lot of people are not satisfied in relationships. There's a reason why hookup culture is a big thing, because the pornographic material makes you think that you're supposed to look like the people in those videos. You're supposed to perform like those people in those videos. Your size is supposed to be the same as the people in those videos. Not realizing that it is a fantasy. Pornographic material is a fantasy. It is not real life. And even the people who participate in it, one thing people don't talk about is that if you have your naked image out there, you are losing a certain aspect of yourself. You're losing privacy. You're losing your ability to consent to who sees you naked. Because once you put your naked imagery out there, anybody with access to the internet can access your naked body. And I don't find it liberating. I know people say it's liberating, it's sexual liberating. I don't find it liberating to expose my most intimate parts of myself to the internet. And that imagery will last forever until I'm dead. There's a reason why men in the past used to work harder to get female attention, because even just seeing a cleavage, a woman's cleavage, was enough to turn a man on. But now, because of the high consumption of pornographic content, a lot of men are not even turned on by looking at a woman's cleavage or a woman's legs, because they've seen too much. You become desensitized. And some girls become obsessed with size, unrealistic sizes, because you have developed a certain appetite from the digital content. Not realizing that even the men who are specifically picked to act in those adult movies are picked because of that size. Most men don't walk around with huge sizes. That's usually an exception. Most human beings, most people are average in terms of height, in terms of size, in terms of proportions. Most people are average. So even the genitalia is most likely going to be average. We don't appreciate flirting anymore. There's a lost art of courting, because what is the point of courting if you get access to naked women online consistently? It's like, I'm noticing both sides, that yes, the girls are trying to make money, they're making money from it. But think about the fact that if a man has been exposed to so many naked women consistently online, he's obviously going to have an appetite for different kinds of women, even extreme versions or highly plastically, surgically altered, or because the thing is, any addiction increases. There's a frequency in which you will have to up the ante. There's a point where in addiction you have to increase the dosage. Same with pornographic material. There gets to a point where you have to watch more extreme stuff just to get your rocks off. So it's very perplexing to me that education isn't free in our country, but if I go on X, I can find pornographic material very easy. We're watching human beings display themselves fully online and it's normalized. I don't know, maybe because I'm old school, but there's certain things that I just feel like are sacred. I feel like the human body is very beautiful. And I feel like sharing your human body with one person, the person you're in love with, it's always a surprise for them. It's like a gift to them. It's like that intimate moment for you. But when the private parts become a public part, what are we losing? We're losing motivation to even pursue relationships because the people we're trying to date are addicted to explicit imagery, explicit acts, and the people who are truly looking for love might end up being used and discarded because of someone who has a certain fantasy. If you're just a fantasy to someone, whether you're dark skin, light skin, big bum, small bum, you will become just another category that this person is looking for because they've watched too many different people on the internet. Section 3. Let's go to the food irony. So I was researching lettuce, the price of lettuce in South Africa across like our very popular shops like Pick n Pay, Checkers, and just lettuce alone, no other ingredients, is 27 Rand. And someone might consider that very cheap. But let's compare it to the price of a Kota. I went to like multiple different shops across TikTok that sell Kota, and the starting price is usually 20 Rand. And Kota is basically bread with chips, polony, sometimes acha, cheese, or an egg. And that's what you can get for 20 Rand. You can get bread, chips, acha, sauces, an egg maybe, even a bit of lettuce for 20 Rand. But if I want to buy lettuce, I literally have just only lettuce. So think about it. For someone who's hungry, I know that eating lettuce alone is not going to fill me. I have to buy other ingredients to add onto the lettuce. Whereas Kota already comes with other extra ingredients for a cheaper price. It would be lovely to have very cheap ingredients. It would be lovely to have very cheap lettuce. But if you have to think and balance the equation, what looks more appealing? The 20 Rand Kota or the 27 Rand lettuce that is just lettuce and leaves alone? Section 4, the health trap. As someone who loves fitness, I love the fitness industry, I love working out, I've noticed something. If you're going to be into the fitness industry, usually the average cost you will pay for a gym membership, let's go for the budget-friendly ones. You could pay like 200 Rand at Gym Company or 300 and something at Zone Fitness. And then you go to the more higher-end gyms like Virgin Active, you could pay 600 Rand, even to 1,000 Rand, depending on what membership plan you have. Yes, some would say it's affordable. 300 Rand per month is nothing. It's very affordable. But let's consider the fact that you still have to buy other things for the gym wear. You still have to buy protein. Whey protein on average cost 300 Rand to about 1,000 Rand. Compare that to me taking an energy drink, a switch to the gym. A switch is going to cost me 10 Rand. So for me to be into fitness, for me to gain weight, to gain mass, to restore my muscles, to use this product, because as I was doing research, protein is actually very healthy, and a good building blocks for your muscle and muscle recovery. So you do need certain amounts of protein. And the protein that you need is very expensive. And it helps with your energy, it boosts how you feel, it helps you feel full. But it's so expensive to even stay on that regimen. That's why I say being into fitness is actually very expensive. Like, it's actually a healthy thing, but it's also quite expensive. Whereas to drink an energy drink to energize myself before I go for a workout, that's way more affordable than me taking pre-workout creatine or protein. But what's the logic in that? What is the logic in the fact that a lot of the things that are supposed to be healthy for us are so expensive? But I think I understand why. I understand why survival is cheap, but growth is expensive. If you have a society of people who are addicted, tired, distracted, constantly looking for entertainment, you have a society of people that are not going to think critically at a lot of the things that are happening to them. If you give an addict an option to satiate their addiction or to read a book, most addicts wouldn't care about reading a book. And a lot of us are actually addicts. We're addicts to social media. We're addicts to fast food. We're addicts to consuming certain things online. Vaping, energy drinks, we are addicts, cigarettes, alcohol. There's so many things that I could calculate and count that we are actually addicted to. And people who are addicted to something do not have the mental space to actually think critically about what's happening around them. They don't have the mental space to dissect and try to find and change the world that they are in. An addict is like someone who's hungry. When you're very hungry, the only thing that will make you feel good is if you get food. The same way an addiction convinces you that the only way you will feel better is if you take this glass of alcohol, this pull of your cigarette, or just watch an OnlyFans girl doing something online. Those things make you feel better in that moment. Those things pacify you. And there's a reason why these things are so easily available. I have a theory that the reason why our government allows these destructive things to be so affordable, it's because it's like a pacifier. It's a pacifier. We're able to cope with the harsh reality of the fact that our country is deeply unequal, economically struggling, and our politicians are extremely corrupted. We're able to cope because it's okay, I'll just watch a TikTok, I'll just watch a movie, I'll just go drink and dance my sorrows away at the club. I'll just go and watch something online or doom scroll. There's a reason why these things are so easy to get, because if you have a society of people who are actually focused, those people could cause a lot of destruction. For example, like what's going to happen on the 21st of November, women are going to get together to try and destabilize the economy. That is the power that a collective has if they work together. That is the power that we have if we actually take a moment and not feed our addictions and not distract ourselves and not be constantly tired because of the overinflation of information. There's a reason why we have so much imagery, so much content, so much adult content, so much content. It makes you tired. It makes you not have any mental space to think about the more important things. It's nice, I understand, like 100%. Relaxing and binge watching is very nice. It gives your brain a break from all the chaos that's happening around you. But that's what they want you to believe. That's what society needs. This society, this government, that's the type of people that it needs. People who don't think. People who cannot think about, actually, if we truly wanted a change in our economy, we have the power to shut it down. If we actually stood together one day and said, We're tired of the corruption. We're tired of the crime. We're tired of the unemployment. And we decided to remove our economic contributions. The government would listen. But right now, they won't listen. They'll keep stealing money from our hospitals because they know that we are too distracted. We love groove. And it's good to have fun. I'm not saying fun is bad. It's good to have fun. But we overdo it. It's too available. There's an event every weekend. Think about the fact that if we actually got together and actually destabilized the economy, how much the politicians would actually listen. But I want to hear your opinions in the comment section. How do you feel about the fact that a lot of the bad things are cheap, but a lot of the good things are very expensive? Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? Leave any heart emoji in the comment section, any color, any kind of heart in the comment section if you got to the end of this video. And I look forward to hearing your feedback on this, darling. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.